Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Tuesday the 11th of June. Thanks for joining me. I'm using my favorite deck, which is the Radiant Rider-Waite deck. I use this deck in my personal readings. If you'd like a personal reading with me, you know what to do. Just go to gregoryscott.com and audio reading there. And the reason I like this deck so much is it's based on the original Rider-Waite deck, but they've tidied up the images and made them brighter and with nice bold colors, and I'm a sucker for nice beautiful colors. I like things bright and colorful and cheerful. So if you're taking my course, by the way, this is the recommended deck. This is the one I would urge you to use, because, or the Rider-Waite deck, the original, because all the other decks that are out there, like, you know, the Crow deck and the Wild Unknown and the Robin Wood Tarot and all of them, they're really all based on these archetypal images. So if you know this deck, you know them all. This reading is for Tuesday the 11th, and I asked the cards, what is the day's energy going to be about? And how are we going to be affected by it? So these readings are for everyone who watches. They're for all signs of the zodiac. And let's have a look at what the Radiant Rider-Waite deck wants to say today. I need to get a new copy. It's getting a bit worn. You can see it's a bit worn, and I like things. I think this is my third one that I've gone through. Okay, so we've got the Hermit, the Star, and the Six of Swords. The Hermit is about taking your time for yourself, looking within. He's holding this big wand, and no jokes, please. The big wand is about his purpose, his passion. What is he supposed to do with his life? So he seems like he's grieving and he's not in a good place. But really, the Hermit is in a great place. It's something that we all have to do to kind of realize who we are so we can become the star that we're really destined to be. You know, even Jesus needed 40 days in the desert to figure things out. And the Hermit is someone who isolates himself. He's on top of this mountain range, which is really interesting, because to get to this space of having time for yourself and holding this lamp which illuminates what's going on internally, that's a climb in itself, and that's an achievement by itself. So pat yourself on the back if you are doing any kind of inner work, if you're doing kind of any work on yourself, looking at your own flaws, your own defects. Loads of people can't do that. In recovery, there's a fourth step, and that's about taking a personal inventory of yourself. You know, the things where you've been inconsiderate, or where you've lied, or where you've done things out of fear and self-seeking. And loads of people drop out at that stage because they just can't face themselves. So that's the mountain that you've climbed. The great thing is that once you do face yourself, and we've got, if you look closely, you've got a Star of David in there. And the Star of David is made up of one triangle pointing up at the sky. So you really wanting to get some answers from the universe and you reaching out. And then you've got one triangle pointing down. And that is the universe answering. You take a step towards it, it takes a step towards you. And they then intersect and create this beautiful Star of David, which shines really brightly. And you're able to understand what your fears are, what's holding you back, how the ego sabotages you through self-doubt and negative self-talk. You understand what your flaws are. You also understand what your strengths are, and you really are able to take a step back and see yourself clearly. An example of this is if you're 18 years old, okay, and you're going to the prom, and your parents have told you that you are the most wonderful, delicate, special, gorgeous creature on the face of the planet. You get dressed up for this prom. You go there like a princess. You imagine that all the Prince Charmings are going to be after you and that it's just going to be a magical experience. What your parents neglected to tell you is that you're average looking. Yes, you're a special, amazing person, but looks-wise, there are lots of other girls in your class who are a lot prettier. That doesn't make you any less special, but on a physical, superficial level, you're going to stand there and be like, why are all the Prince Charmings that are meant to come to me, why are they going over there to them? What's wrong? Something's gone wrong here. And what's gone wrong is that your perception of yourself has been altered and twisted by the people around you. So 18 is a little bit young to do this kind of work. I really admire the people who, this is a little bit off topic, sorry, but the people who get clean and sober at 18, because it takes a little bit of courage to look at yourself and to say, do you know what, I can be a real arrogant so-and-so sometimes. And when you're 18, to be able to do that and to accept that about yourself, wow, that's really something. Now, most of us aren't 18, okay? And most of us are at that point in our lives where we do have to take responsibility for our actions, who we are, and how that manifests in the real world. So if I go around swearing at everyone and telling people how annoying they are, then I'm going to have a really negative experience of life, because people will immediately be on the defensive and they'll be like, oh, here he comes. Let's get out of here. The hermit allows you to see that, but not only to see it. Imagine this like Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, the planet of transformation and change, the phoenix rising from the ashes. It shows you your weaknesses and your behavior. You're able to let it go and transform it into a beautiful light. So the things that have been your biggest problem, so a bad temper or arrogance, you see them and you turn them into compassion and a positive temperament. You heal those things by yourself. Now, not only do you heal them through the hermit, but the next card that we've got is the star. And the star takes that a step further. She is totally vulnerable. She takes all of her flaws, she owns them, and she washes them away. She lets go of them. And because she does that, her light just explodes, and she is totally in touch with herself, and she cleans that surface around her that's been obscured with self-doubt and self-hatred and self-loathing and arrogance and negative behaviors. And she cleans all of that away, and it allows her inner light to shine beautifully and for her to take center stage and to really be the person that she was always meant to be. So the parental influence at the prom, for example, that's gone because she's looked at that and accepted it and said, well, the reason for that was because my perspective was off. And then also the other things about herself, she's understood and accepted and realized and taken on. And rather than fragment herself into little pieces, I don't like this about myself, so let's bury it. I don't like that about myself, let's bury it. Instead of doing that, she's reclaimed everything. She's owned it. She's embraced it and said, this is me as I am. And the things that hurt me, or the things that I no longer want because I have identified them now, I'm not powerless. I can let those things go with the help of the universe. So all I do is say, universe, please help me let go of my jealousy, for instance, if that's your problem. Help me to be less jealous. You let go of that, and once you make space within yourself and you let go of a negative trait, then you make space for something really wonderful and positive to come in, and you shine like a star. Finally, we got the Six of Swords, and the Six of Swords is a woman and a child who are like refugees. They're hiding away, they're threatened, and they're taking a barge somewhere else so that they can be safe. But all the swords are in the boat with them. All the things that they're running from are right there. So it's an example of wherever you go, there you are. So this is a day where, do you see, this is the center, okay? This is the main point. And you've got two options. You can either face your demons and look within and make time and space to do that. Or you can say, nah, I'm fine as I am. I'm going to get out of here and do something else. That means that you won't be able to be the star that you really are because you're not willing to admit certain things about yourself. I've never done anything wrong. I'm never in the wrong. So don't attack me. I'm the victim here, for example. And it's hiding from yourself. It's hiding from the other people who you owe an apology to. It's hiding from an environment where you've really just caused a lot of negativity with your behavior. And it seems like if you look at this card, it's like, oh, poor woman and poor kid. And the kid is an example of your bad behavior affecting your nearest and dearest. So that kid doesn't have a choice. He has to go along with her. So on first sight, you feel sorry for them and you're like, oh, poor things. The reality is that she's just not willing to look within. In this case, it's not always like this, but she's taking all of her bad behavior with her. And once she gets to the other side, you can bet your bottom dollar that she's going to recreate the same negative circumstances. So you can be a star today. All you have to do is say, hey, do you know what? I think I may not be perfect. What? And just say that. I think I may not be perfect. I think there may be something about me that isn't the best in the world. That isn't super, super amazing. And that shows a willingness to look within. And that willingness is a step towards the truth. And the truth is then going to take a step towards you and say, well done for admitting or recognizing that you're not perfect. And we want to help you get rid of the things that obscure your true magnificence and your true light. And we want to help you detox from that. And we want to replace it with amazing strengths and characteristics which are going to take you to the top. Because the universe wants you to succeed. It wants you to thrive. You'll only believe that once you have evidence of it in your life. So take a leap of faith and start working with the universe and say, okay, I'm willing to do my bit. Let's see if you actually cooperate and do your bit as you've promised. Once you start seeing the universe changing your job and changing the way you appear because you get the message to change your diet and your exercise regime, or it changes your romantic situation, then you can see the evidence of the good work that you've done and how the universe has blessed you as a result. And once you have that in your life, that's what's called faith. You believe that there's something good out there that wants you to succeed. On the other hand, you can say, I'm absolutely perfect and everyone is just persecuting me and it's all their fault. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to start over and how dare they? That's not the right answer today. And the amazing thing is that this is all about yourself. So the universe is giving you a day to really focus on yourself. So you'd be a little bit foolish to not take advantage of that space and time that you've got to actually fix something that is so life-changing. And you're able to move on. Like, if I hadn't at some point admitted that I was an alcoholic and that it was a problem, then I would still be drinking and I would be a nervous wreck and I would not be connected with a higher power, and I would be dead at this point, probably. I wouldn't have got the guidance to teach. I wouldn't have got the guidance to put my cards on YouTube. I wouldn't have met any of you. That all came from the universe saying, thanks for admitting that. We're letting it go. We're helping you get rid of the cravings and the compulsion to drink every day. And that freed me up. When I came home from my 9 to 5, after work, I'd get out the gin and I'd drink. So once I stopped doing that, I had a lot of time that I could use to go to meetings, to go to spiritual groups, to learn, to do the Course in Miracles, to start transcendental meditation. All of those things, I think anyway, you may disagree, but all of those things brought out the best in me as I am. And it's not finished. I'm still growing. I feel like I've got my whole life ahead of me. I don't know if that's true or not, but I really feel like the best is yet to come. And if I'd ignored it and just say, well, actually, I don't have a problem and just leave me alone, everybody, I just want to isolate and drink my gin and tonics, then I would be in a really bad place 9 years later. 10th of May, 2010 is my sober date. So those 9 years have been a completely different life for me. So do you want a different life? It's being offered to you today on a silver platter, and it doesn't have to be as extreme as my situation, but if you're like really, really arrogant, for instance, and you like, I can't do anything about that, that's just the way I'm wired. No, you can make new neural pathways in your mind with the help of the universe, meditation, prayer, all of that. You can literally create new ways of thinking within yourself. So make the most of this day. Number-wise, we've got 9, and what's this? 15, 16, 17. So that's what? 26, and 6 is 32. 3 and 2 is 5. So it's freedom from yourself, freedom from your bad behaviors, from your negative situation, from your negative character traits, your defects, and the ability to shine and to be a star. Doesn't mean you have to be up on stage, but it can mean that you thrive in your own personal life. So have a wonderful day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via the website, gregoryscott.com. Click on the Readings tab to order your reading. I use the tarot, astrology, and numerology in my personal readings. So if you have any questions, I can answer those. Have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.